Hey guys, here's your test review for test 6.1. If you have a K review or if you have an L review, they're the exact same. The only difference is the very last question, which I will discuss whenever we get there. Alright, so the first part of your review, it's asking you about the transformations. Transformations are huge on this test, which means that you need to know how to go from the graph to the equation or the equation to the graph. So, given the parent function y equals 1 over x, match the equation to its graph. So for starters, you need to know what the graph 1 over x looks like. So this line, it's going to have a horizontal asymptote at x equals 0, or a vertical asymptote, sorry, and then a horizontal asymptote y equals 0. Then the function is going to look like this. And it's going to go through the point 0 or 1, 1. So imagine that being 1, 1 and negative 1, 1. No, negative 1, negative 1. Sorry, can't think tonight. Alright, so you need to know that. Now, what we're going to do is when we go through this, I'm not going to state the domain range and I'm not going to state the asymptotes. I'm basically just kind of giving you the answers, so you need to look through your notes and figure out the reasonings why. So the first one, number 1. If you notice, it is reflected across the x-axis, which means that we have to have a negative in front of our a. Then if you look, our vertical asymptote is at x equals 0, horizontal is y equals 0. So that means number 1 is E. Alright, number 2. If you see, it just looks just like our parent. The only difference is that it's shifted over 2 units to the right. So instead of x plus 2, we're going to have an x minus 2 on bottom. So number 2 is B. Alright, number 3. It is shifted up 2 units. So that means we are going to have a plus 2 on the outside. So number 3 is C. Oh, that's not good. Sorry, for some reason my the image part changed on my video. So there we go, got it fixed. Now it's no longer so awkward. I'm so sorry for that awkward moment. Okay, number 4. Looking at this one, just like number 1, it is reflected. Alright, not only is it reflected though, it is also shifted 2 units to the left. So remember, x is a liar, so instead of x minus 2, it'll be x plus 2. And that matches A. Alright, number 5. Again, just like number 1 and 4, it is reflected across the x-axis. It's not shifted over any, but instead it's shifted down 2 units. So we're going to have a minus 2. So that means it is D. Alright, last one, number 6. Just like number 2 and 3, 6 is not reflected. However, if you notice, it does not go through the point 0, or sorry, 1, 1, or negative 1, negative 1. So since it does not go through those points, it's a stretch. If it was closer to the x-axis or the origin, it would be a compress. But so since it's further away, it's a stretch. So that means our A has to be greater than 1. I would be starting this problem on your paper, by the way. So since our A is greater than 1, then the answer is F. Or if you use process of elimination, you know your answer is F. You need to go through and state the domain range, the vertical asymptote, and the horizontal asymptote of all of these. Literally your asymptotes are the dotted lines. It should be an x equals and a y equals, and remember those cannot be included in your domain and range. Alright, number 6. Mr. Farmer wants to sell chicken eggs, and each chicken lays 3 to 5 eggs a day. He wants to sell 300 eggs a day. So roughly how many chickens should he buy? So for starters, the lowest amount that they can lay is 3. So that means if I want to sell 300 and I only have chickens that lay 3 eggs a day, I do 300 divided by 3, that equals 100. Now the maximum they can lay is 5. So say they always lay 500 eggs, or 5 eggs a day, my bad. I have 300 divided by 5, which is equal to 60. So that means he wants to buy between 60 and 100 chickens, like total. Alright, if you have any questions so far, ask the sub to stop this video, rewind it, pause it, or re-listen to an area that you need help with. Alright, next one. Number 8 and 9 kind of go together. So we're trying to solve for x. I put one side of my y1, the other side of my y2. It really doesn't matter. Guys, we have done these problems tens of thousands of times. If you do not get these problems right, I'm going to be very, very, very upset. So you're going to look where your y1 equals your y2. And oh hey, that's at x equals -8. So your answer for your solution is -8. Looking at number 9, again, it gave you the problem, but do we really care? No, because they gave us a graph, and all we got to know is the solution, or they gave us a table. So I want to see where the y1 equals y2. And for this one, it is right here at, oh hey, guess what that is? X equals 3. So my solution is 3. Okay, and again, so far everything has been matching between the L and the K review. So if you're an L kid and you need some help, go to some of my smart K kids. If you're a K kid and need some help, go to some of my smart L kids. But everybody is smart in my book. Alright, next one, application problems. So the math club is going on a trip to Fiesta, Texas. If only I could go. Tickets will cost $20 per student. Plus, it will cost $350 to rent a bus to go to San Antonio. Only one bus is needed and at least 10 students must go. The cost per student C will depend on how many students decide to go in, as the cost of the bus will be split among all those attending. So complete the table, in other words. Alright, so for starters, it kind of already told you the N equation. So let's just go ahead and write that in. So I have a C equals. The cost of the bus is going to be split. So I have 350, my pen will work, divided by the number of students, and each student has to pay 20 bucks. So that's how you figure out the cost per student. So for 10, I'm going to do 350 divided by 10 plus 20. When I do that, I get that if 10 students go, it'll be $55. Alright, next one, if 20 students go, I have 350 divided by 20 plus another $20. When you type that into your handy dandy calculator, you get $37.50. Alright, next one. Say 25 students go. I have 350 divided by 25 plus 20, and you end up getting $34. Okay, if you have any questions on how I filled in this table, be sure to stop this video and rewatch it. Alright, next thing. What is the cost if 35 students go on the trip? So what that's saying is take 35 and plug it in right here. So I have 350 divided by 35 plus 20. Alright, when you plug this in, you get $30. Alright, next one. If the trip costs $28.14 per student, how many students are going? So in other words, you're going to take $28.14 and set that equal to 350 divided by n plus 20. So this is like on the question on Thursday with the A&M volleyball team, and it wanted to know, say, it cost a total of, I don't remember what it was, like $45. how many people were attending, it's kind of like that. So the first thing I need to do is subtract 20 from both sides. Okay, when I do that, I get 814 is equal to 350 divided by n. Okay, I need to extend the page. Give me a second. Alright, so now what's going to really happen, because I know last time in the video I didn't really show you, but so when you multiply by this n, you're going to then have to divide by 8.14. So n is equal to 350 divided by 814. And when you get that, when you plug that in, you get a whopping 43. So 43 students are going on the trip if it costs $28.14 per person. Okay, if you're lost at any point, make sure you stop it. Alright, next question. This one's super easy because we kind of already talked about this the other day. Discontinuities include both wholes and asymptotes. Okay, your asymptotes can be vertical and horizontal, so make sure you know that. Alright, last question. This is the one that's a little bit different on the papers. So if you are a K student, you need to factor your numerator first. When you do that, you get x times x plus 4 times x minus 3 divided by x plus 4 squared. So you get the exact same problem that I already have on here, but you have to factor yours first. So if you need to remember how to factor. Alright, to help us out, I'm going to write out x plus 4 two times. So I have x times x plus 4 times x minus 3 over x plus 4 times x plus 4. I got 3 minutes to get through this problem. I'm not going to graph it because I really don't care about your graph right now. So the first thing I will look at is my horizontal asymptotes. Remember horizontal, I'm going to look at the original equation. So for the original equation, I have an x times an x times an x. So I'm going to have an x cubed on top. And then I'll have an x squared on bottom. So I'm bigger on top. So I'm going to use bottom. So since I'm using bottom, I do not have a horizontal asymptote. So that means I have to write none in the blank. If you don't write none, your answer is wrong. Alright, the next thing, vertical asymptotes and wholes. So let's first think about wholes. I'm going to cross out my common factors, which is x plus 4. However, this is one of my special cases. I have an extra x plus 4 on bottom. So you think it's going to be a whole, but it's not. It's a vertical asymptote. So x equals, because we said x plus 4 equals 0. So x equals negative 4. And then for whole, we would say none. Alright, zeros. I set the remaining factors of my numerator. So x and x minus 3 equals 0. So x equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. So I have 0 at 0, 0. And I have 0 at 3, 0. Okay, I'm going to write my domain down low because I don't have a lot of space. So domain. Remember for domain, we look at our vertical asymptote and the x value of our whole. Well, we don't have a whole, so we don't have to worry about that. For my vertical asymptote, I have x equals negative 4. So for my domain, x cannot equal negative 4. For my range, I do not have a horizontal asymptote and I do not have a whole. So that means I can go from negative infinity to positive infinity, since there are no restrictions. Okay, that is all for your test review. Make sure that you study. I will be here tomorrow at 6:50 in the morning to answer any questions that you have. I will also resend out every single link that I've sent you. So yes, I will blow up your phone, but I promise you it's the last time for a while. Have a good day.